Two parents to a boy child, one a once convicted murderer and the other a witness to a murder. And yet, South Africans have decided that they're going to extend grace, support, and mercy to the one that was once a convicted murderer. Hi, tubers, and a very warm welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, like, share, and most importantly, leave your comment on the comment section right below. Now, tubers, this has got to be one of the most tragic, toxic love stories to ever come out of the South African entertainment industry, and that is the toxic love story of Mulimo Moruhanye, affectionately known as Jub Jub to his fans, and Kelly Khumalo. Now, I don't know if you guys know anything about this, but just to give you brief context of the story. Back in 2010, Jub Jub was involved in a tragic car accident that saw the loss of four innocent children die. That saw the loss of four innocent children in Soweto. He was then later in 2012 convicted to murder, and his crime was then changed from murder to culpable homicide in 2014. He was then released on parole in 2017. Now, I don't know about you, but if you do the math, that is a little less than 15 years spent in prison for a crime as severe as that. Now, Tubers, he came out of prison, went on and did some few songs about forgiveness, and South Africans seem to have taken a huge bite out of that because they seem to have really forgiven this man for the crime that he committed in 2010. He then also went on to have shows on Moja Love, one which was Utando Nokolo, which was more about forgiveness. And South Africans also seem to have taken a huge bite out of that and they bought into it. And then he then went on to have a show called Uyajola 99, which is still to date airing on Moja Love. Now, what does that have to do with anything? It has got everything to do with everything. Because in 2014, Kelly Khumalo was a witness to a murder of Senzo Meyiwa, who was at the time a goalkeeper and a captain of Orlando Pirates. He then lost his life in Kelly Khumalo's home in Vosloorus, where invaders came in and seemed to have shot Senzo Meyiwa, and he then died, or rather passed away from that whole shooting that took place. Throughout the years, Kelly Khumalo has refused to come forward and speak on what she witnessed during that time of Senzo Meyiwa's death. And this saw a lot of South Africans become very angry, deranged, and showing a lot of hatred towards Kelly Khumalo for not being able to come forward and speak on what she saw on that day or on what happened or what took place on that fateful day in 2014 in Vosloorus. Now, Tubers, I bring the story forth to say, throughout the years, I've watched the whole thing. I've watched the whole thing unfold right before my eyes. I was still in high school when that incident took place with Senzo Meyiwa, and it has become very confusing to me that Kelly Khumalo wouldn't want to come forward and talk about what she witnessed on that day, especially given the fact that she has a child with Senzo Meyiwa. But then again, it has become a constant question in my mind as to it's very strange on how South Africans decide they're going to extend grace, mercy, and support to Jub Jub, who committed a crime as severe as the one that he committed in 2010. And yet, people have shown hatred towards Kelly Khumalo. They have shown no mercy or grace towards this woman. If anything, South Africa seem to have made Kelly Khumalo's life a living hell for not wanting to speak up on what happened on that fateful day. Now, I'm not saying Kelly Khumalo is innocent in all of this. Does Senzo Meyiwa's family and friends deserve justice and to know what happened on that fateful day? Yes. Hell yes. As South Africans, we deserve to know the truth on what happened or what took place on that fateful day in Vosloorus. And Kelly Khumalo has been one of the people that have delayed this case because she refuses to come forward and speak on what happened. But it has also looked, for me, this is my personal opinion, it has looked very unfair to me when South Africans decide to forgive Jub Jub for the crime that he committed and extend grace to Jub Jub and also go as far as putting money in Jub Jub's pockets, because let's be honest, South Africans tune in every Sunday on Jub Jub's very toxic, very not sensible show, on Moja Live every Sunday, they are in support of this man, how good of a presenter he is, how you've seen comments on social media. People love that hideous and ridiculous show. They are in very much support of Jub Jub and his career as a musician and as a television presenter, forgetting of the crime that he committed in 2010. And yet, these are the very same South Africans that would show up on Kelly Khumalo's comment section every time she posts, she makes a post on social media talking about her shows, in which I'm guessing that's how she's making her money to support her family and children. The very same South Africans that are in support of Jub Jub are the very same South Africans that come on to Kelly Khumalo's comment section and show hatred and say very horrible things about this woman, merely from the fact that she refuses to come forward and speak on what happened on that fateful day. Now, once again, I don't want to sound like I'm not being impartial on this or I'm being biased as a woman. I do feel Kelly Khumalo has plays a very impactful role in this for not wanting to come forward and speak on what happened on that fateful day. I do feel that Senzo Meyiwa's family deserves justice and deserve to know what really happened on that day so that the convictions can be made and they can move on with their lives knowing that justice was served. But she refuses to speak on it. But then again, how do South Africans measure the level of forgiveness and who it needs to be extended to? Because in the public court of opinion, Kelly Khumalo seems to be a very guilty woman. It doesn't matter whether this woman now comes forward and speaks on what happened. South Africans have already decided that Kelly Khumalo is as guilty as she possibly can be for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa because she was a witness in that murder. And yet, South Africans seem to have a very selective memory when it comes to Jub Jub and the crime that he committed in 2010. Have South Africans forgotten about the severity of that crime, or have South Africans decided, oh, he did his time in prison and therefore we're going to forgive him and we're going to move on with our lives as if nothing happened? It has become very strange to me on how South Africans have decided to go about this. Now, if we're going to put Kelly Khumalo under the microscope of saying she's very guilty, we're going to hate her for what she did. She refuses to come forward and speak about the incident that took place in Vosloorus at her home about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Why can't we then extend the same for Jub Jub? Is it an issue of South African men not wanting to hold each other accountable? Because what is this about? Like, what is this about? Why is it that Jub Jub gets to have it easy in life after the death of 4 kids? How is it that he gets so much support from the public? How is it that the public will watch and tune into his show every Sunday in support of him making money, but not extend the same for Kelly Khumalo? Now, tubers, do with this information what you may, but I am not saying that Kelly Khumalo is innocent in all of this. I am not saying that the public shouldn't show their anger towards Kelly Khumalo, but I'm just saying, why is it that Jub Jub seems to have it easy and Kelly Khumalo must suffer through this life thing just from being a mere witness to a murder? Is she wrong for not coming forward and speak on what she witnessed on that day? 100%. But why is it that the one person that actively played a role in South Africans losing the innocent lives of those 4 children in Soweto, how is it that we are not mad at that at all? Do South Africans have a selective memory, or do South Africans don't want to hold South African men accountable for their crimes? I don't know what you think about this, but if you have any thoughts on this, please do drop your comment on the comment section right below. Thank you for tuning into this video. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, and love you.